Today we're going to be talking about The Flash, Black Lightning, and a little bit of The Walking Dead. So stay tuned. Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. This is our Tube Talk episode, where we review the latest TV shows, episodes, and talk about some of the upcoming new shows and episodes.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a wee little while.
Oh, yeah.
This is like our first Tube Talk of the year almost.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're getting back into some shows now, and we wanted to kind of refer...
It's been crazy. I've been in the middle of selling and buying a house. And
it has been.
It's been crazy.
And I'm actually pretty far behind a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of work and projects and stuff going on, but we're excited to talk about these shows with you.
Let's do it.
Big time upcoming show episodes of The Walking Dead are now coming out. We had our mid-season premiere, which...
Just 2 days ago or something like that, 3 days ago.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about also The Flash and Black Lightning. Do you want to start us off? Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, totally. I kind of want to talk about both. I won't be real episode specific on these, but
general sense.
The Flash, general sense this year, just as a whole, I've been a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a fan. It's probably because first season still hands down my favorite season. Second season, next favorite season. This fourth season is kind of maybe close to second season stuff, like earlier second season stuff. And I like it because it's simplifying it more. You have one speedster, which is good. That was one of the things that we had talked about previously.
Yes.
And then
much better with that.
And then the only downside, and it's still a downside, and I think we talked about this too, we're just learning to kind of acclimate to Ralph Dibny.
Yeah.
He's just I don't know why they included this character.
I don't either.
He's so abrasive, and I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to bring him onto the show.
Yeah.
I am growing. He is growing on me, I guess I should say.
I feel like I'm just getting used to his annoyingness, but I'm not really enjoying him anymore, you know?
Right. So I would say he's growing on me a little bit because I'm not as just irritated by him as I used to be.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably just speaking of the same thing that you're talking about. So other than him, I'm on board with it. I feel like there's different stakes. It's not just, the speedster is going to kill the world, It's something different. It's not someone who's right now, as we know, not someone, the thinker is not someone who's just trying to destroy the world. They're trying to do something where it's unclear what they're trying to do at the moment.
Right.
But then it's not just the Flash being in death and peril as a conflict. He's in prison, he gets out of prison, all these things.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, I wonder if that's why Ralph Dibny exists and they wrote him into the show. Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But the Flash I'm enjoying overall. I'm not like first season Flash yet. I don't feel that.
I like this better than last season.
Oh yeah, 3 is the worst.
Yeah,
I gotta say, season 3 was the worst. But this is definitely a huge step in the right direction. If they keep playing it this way and at least kind of fine tuning it, I think it'll be great.
Yeah.
Overall, the Flash thoughts at all?
I'm pretty similarly to a lot of your feelings. I think I like some of the elements that are going on. Ralph Dibny has been really difficult for me.
Yeah.
I've done a couple episodes that they really focused on him.
Yeah.
DeVoe's been good and bad. There's been elements that I've really enjoyed about him. When they switched to their last actor, I forget the guy's. I don't know the guy's name. I've never seen him in anything prior to that.
He reads minds or something.
Yeah, he was such a bad actor. I'm sorry, but he was so bad to me. He just everything was talking just like this, and they've switched it now to a girl.
Yeah.
Which she's much better.
Yeah.
I feel like she's a good actress.
Well, she's that girl that was
right, the lucky girl.
Yeah.
Which she's a great actress. I think she's really funny and quirky in the role. But the last guy was he's like, why are you blocking your thoughts? I was just like, oh my gosh! Every time he's on screen, I was like, if you're gonna stick with this guy the rest of the season, I'm gonna have a really hard time.
Maybe that's why they changed it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's good and bad things. I like the way that they're handling Caitlyn's kind of two sides now. That it's kind of the same person, but they're working together. But they're on the same page. Yeah. There's no real reason for her to be that bad person.
Right.
Before
like the Hulk almost, except for a little bit more under control.
Yeah, I thought the fact that the way that they were kind of manipulating him to be stuck and stay in jail was a little bit silly to me.
Sure. He could have gotten out anytime he wanted to.
Yeah.
He wanted to do it the right way. Ultimately, it worked out, but still not. It wasn't even really the right way, and that's what it's talking about. Maybe that's why they have Dibny, so he could just morph into.
There was aspects that Dibny's changing his character, like his body. It made sense, but it was like, it also was like, what? It felt manipulated, like how he just did it one day and he's like, oh my gosh, I can do this thing. Like, it also doesn't make, and hopefully this doesn't sound rude or anything, but like, how do you change your skin color? Like, I can understand you changing.
Yeah.
They never mentioned that, but like, I can understand you changing your body's shape.
Skin color or clothing color.
Yeah, or clothing color.
It doesn't matter. How do you change your colors of your clothes?
That's completely different. Like
than
clothing,
stretching.
Yeah, than stretching your skin and your body's makeup and stuff like that. I don't know.
Maybe it's a comic book thing. If you guys know, let us know.
I would still say overall positive. It's kind of like in the B range right now, whereas last season was definitely a strong C kind of range. So, yeah.
Kind of taking on to the next show that I've been watching. I know you haven't seen this at all. I've been watching Black Lightning.
Okay.
And I've been really enjoying it. Actually,
nice.
It's been a super solid first like 6 episodes, I believe.
Yeah,
6 or 7. I like the bad guy. The bad guy is bad, which is good. He's not just like he actually is like gnarly, like feeding people to piranhas and like know stuff. So, like and like snapping his dad's back in half like crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But he's a bad dude. And
Did he step on a crack and
no
broke his dad's back?
But
Just kidding.
I think he's really good. I like the main dude, and Cress Williams, I think, is the guy who plays Black Lightning. He's really good.
How's the action?
The action's good. It's not like over the top. It's not like Flash action where like crazy superpowers, because it takes place in the same universe. It's a CW show, superhero show.
Right.
Other things are going on, but it just focuses on this smaller story.
Yeah.
The action is cool. Because it's mainly just hand-to-hand combat, but like Black Lightning has electrical powers. So instead of punches, it's like a punch, but with like electrical
Gotcha.
And it's cool. And it's like he's super strong.
Right.
It's
like a seismic punch.
Yeah. And they're doing the same thing where he's kind of like learning some new power stuff too. And I'm like, that's cool.
Does he do like a punch to the ground and lightning goes?
Not yet. I could see that happen in the future, but he just learned like how to fly.
Oh, that's cool.
Like he can emit electricity from his hands, and it creates like
that makes sense.
Like resistance,
push him off the ground.
Exactly, it's pretty sweet. And then I don't know. I've been enjoying it. The only things that I'm not entirely sure about is I feel like they're introducing other people with powers too soon. People that you thought were just normal people that are metas, actually. You're like, I wish they would have maybe saved that for later on, because I want to focus just on Black Lightning and kind of what he's doing.
Right, develop his story.
But I mean, I liked it. I like the characters. I think the acting's all really good. It's got some funny comedy elements, some surprising comedy elements too. I was like, that's funny, I guess. I didn't think that they'd go there, but it's been enjoyable, and I'm excited to keep watching it. I think it's a win for CW.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, so I know you haven't seen that.
Yes.
But you did see something that I haven't had a chance to see, and this is the big mid-season premiere.
This is.
Yes.
Walking Dead.
Season
9?
8?
8. No, season
8.
8. Yep.
Mid-season premiere.
Yeah. So I'm going to spoil a little bit here.
Spoil it away.
If you I'm just saying for our listeners as well. We do spoilers on Tube Talk, but if you don't want to know anything about anybody dying, because I'm going to talk about specifically somebody dying here.
Yeah.
Then tune out. Yeah. Just let them. We kind of knew this, but yeah, Coral. He kind of bites the big one.
Yep.
He goes in this mid-season finale.
How much loss can Rick endure, man?
It's tough. You know what I mean? He's been through a lot. I think a lot of people probably assumed that he would be the first one to go versus his son.
Sure.
And I know that as far as just like backstory of like his removal from the show, a lot of people weren't expecting it. A lot of people were pretty surprised. Even he was in a lot of ways surprised that he was going to be removed from the show. I feel like one of the main problems that I've been having with the show is that it's kind of trying to have its cake and eat it too. Mm-hmm. It's trying to present this quasi like the depravity of man, the horrible state that we're in.
Right.
But in a fake science fiction zombie infested universe, and very lightly kind of tread into some very deeper territory that it doesn't really know how to handle. So it's kind of like it's been given this like really intelligent idea, and it's just like beating it with a bat, like it's like a pinata or something, like trying to get the candy morsels out of it. You know what I mean?
It was good, but they keep repeating it.
Right.
And that's why they keep beating the same thing over and over again.
Right. It's like always, they get into a situation, bad things happen, they have to fight zombies and people, and then they end up having to like defend themselves, and then good things happen and bad things happen and people die.
Yeah.
And then they get into another situations, like they have to defend themselves, good things, bad things happen, people die, and then it's like this like arcing story structure, and it's like at a certain point you kind of just get like sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't honestly know too many shows that have lasted this long and kind of been all that interesting. Specifically with this episode with Coral's death, I felt like they handled it well. I didn't feel like it felt stupid, but they gave a lot. There was really only two things happening this last episode. It was just Coral, and then a couple of the characters were kind of trying to save the king guy, Ezekiel.
Yeah.
And that was fine, but it felt really empty. I think that overall it felt like they were really, really stretching things out with certain elements and certain aspects. And it's just kind of like, at this point, you want to see something significant happen. And by significant, I don't just mean more people dying.
Right.
But I want to see like some progress in the story, like big things changing, moving forward. And they're like pushing it now with this idea that there's going to be this peace that were between them. But I felt like the entire war was very mishandled.
Right.
The entire thing was manipulated and silly. And so there was no real fighting. I mean, there was some minor skirmishes and battles that happened in this most recent episode, but I think even the numbers are showing that like they're all the way down to like season 3.
So
with their ratings.
This mid-season premiere is the worst mid-season premiere out of all the seasons, but it's still, even with the worst mid-season premiere, it's still the highest rated viewed. Right. It's so weird. It was so ahead of everything else that
they're bringing in a new showrunner.
Yeah.
I would like to say that that excites me, but she's been somebody that's already been a part of the show. Right. I forget what area that she's been working.
Maybe she'll have more.
I was hoping they would bring in somebody that's entirely different. Yeah. That knows how to handle shows. That's got experience doing show running.
It could use some new blood for sure.
It could use new blood, but I don't really consider her new blood.
No, I'm saying it could use new blood.
Right. Yeah. So that doesn't really give me a lot of hope for it. It almost feels like they're like, well, we just want to change some things and kind of try and keep it going, keep interest enough there that we can keep generating story for at least a few more seasons with it. Right. But it's like they need to invest. Like we saw those military helicopters, and it was like, oh, something new, something different. There's like more going on to the story than just this limited, silly little thing with the main cast and this dumb war that they have going on.
They need to take, because we saw the helicopters and that was it. And we haven't seen it since.
They need to expand the story outside of just this limited little scope. And it just feels like budget-wise, they can't do that, which I know sounds stupid. But
because they have a pretty big budget.
They do have a big budget, but if every episode that I watch now just feels extremely limited.
Right. And I think that'd make, to me, I think that'd refresh it and give it the energy that it needs. Is take this out of this super small magnifying glass on this group of people and just blow it way up. Be like, wow, there's this whole other thing happening right now.
Exactly. Take it off that microscope and make it seem like there's a whole world of stuff going on versus just this limited sort of battle.
Right. Yeah.
Especially with all the characters that constantly are dying now.
I'm finding it hard to stay excited to watch.
Yeah, because we've been stuck in this looping story of these characters for so long now, and you pretty much just feel like, how long am I going to have to watch this until I see these people die? Right. It's like, and is it going to be a good death or is it going to be a bad death? And the thing that Game of Thrones does well, they do kill off characters, but it tells a good story.
And it progresses. Things happen.
It moves forward. The world is changing. And this world has been going in one direction for the entirety of its run. It's just been slowly getting a little bit worse and worse. So yeah. That's kind of my overall feeling. I gave the episode like a B-.
Okay.
It's like an 80.
I gotcha.
Overall. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Anyway, we'll move on then. We'll go ahead and end things on the podcast here. Some ways to get connected before we close. RealReviewMedia.com is our website. We also have our Facebook, which is Facebook.com/RealReviewMedia. We have our Twitter and Instagram, which are both @RealReviewMedia. And we would love to hear your thoughts and perspectives on some of the shows. If you've got a great suggestion on a new show, Netflix show, or something like that you'd love for us to check out, let us know. Drop us a line. RealReviewMedia@gmail.com.
Cool.
There it is. Anything else, Matt?
I started watching Magicians and Altered Carbon. I'll give you updates on that when I get a little bit further along.
That sounds awesome.
Cool.
I want to check out Altered Carbon at some point. I haven't had a chance, but
cool.
All right. Well, then it's been real.
It's been real.